What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? With spoilers from the lovely folks in the Flesh and Blood community concluding on the 7th and box openings either happening as this video releases or a bit later, I did want to talk about some of the cool things that were shown off and what this potentially means for future card design, lore, and other things. Now, I won't be talking about everything shown so far, but stuff I really like. And all those who spoiled the cards will have their names shown on the side and be linked down below. If you aren't already following them, do so. I'll wait. Did you do it? Cool. Daylon Mac showed off the first card named after a set, Uprising. Now currently we only have 2 decks that can use it, but granting the next 4 attacks, not attack actions, just attacks, and giving it +1 is going to be annoying. Because of course they had to add more math. Now this is a solid mythic and design space that I hope we could see expanded just beyond damage. Perhaps an extra boost for Mechologist, or for Brute Intimidate. But also look at this art too. Pulling this in foil is going to look amazing. Now if that's said, I'm wondering if future sets will have a named card. Because honestly, Monarch would have been cool. Next, let's talk Legendary. Fiendale got to show off the awesome Crown of Providence, and this card has rightly gotten a lot of attention. Anything that says draw a card is perfect in any game. And the fact it's tied to filter and defending is solid. Valder could use something like this, just getting a surge token for blocking seems really good. And we'll continue with the equipment. And thanks to the Judges Academy, we got to see Helios Meter. Now this is a token equipment, and I believe the first one that isn't a weapon. So commoner players can rejoice. And aside from the sealed environment, I can see this in budget blitz decks, and I'm hoping it's going to stick for future designs. Now most cards are designed for sealed, so more token equipment I think is going to be good for that environment. Either slowing the game down just a bit, or at least allowing people to experience more games within the environment. Especially if it's just tied to damage prevention, or something recurring. And seeing it as how it just destroys itself at the end of turn and not the end of combat chain, you'll be able to get 1 or 2 uses out of it, so I think it's solid design. Now let's talk about my favorite card. Out of the entire set, art, looks, and just, it's amazing. Fabrica got to show off the awesome Yandere. And I'm going to mispronounce this as Yandere every time I see it. This art, this is brute art. This is a lush forest, powerful stance. It's green. I'm just hoping that Brute gets more allies or something of the sort later down the line. Perhaps this will allow us to see maybe a illusionist in the Savage Lands. Also, this is the first time not only dragons, but flip cards have been introduced. Now yes, many games have done this, but Flesh and Blood is early to adopt it. So we'll see this design evolve over time. And Yandere themselves is great against lower hitting decks like Era. It's going to at least have to take 2 to 3 cards to deal with this, so it'll be a solid threat. And perhaps we'll see something down the line later to damage prevention counters on other cards, or granting them. Now we're going to talk about the second legendary of the set. Thanks to Fabled Academy, we got to see Ghostly Touch. It's very interesting art. The foil looks beautiful, but I'm also curious if this is a spoiler for future designs of Illusionist. Now we know these summon images, or in this case dragons, but the thought of them summoning spirits and calling from the dead is a nice touch. And I'm curious how they're going to incorporate this later down the line, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. The neat thing, this is the first animated weapon, which is a really nice touch. And if you're a D&D player, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, Dead Summer Art got to show off Oasis Respite. This is by far, I think, my second favorite art of the entire set. And I wish that we'll either see this as prints that we can get, or a playmat. Now, the card itself just prevents 4 damage. Any damage, it doesn't matter. Now, this works for Ultimate Pit Fight because it works on any player. You know, makes some political favors. I might just stuff this in Ultim, that's budget, and it's going to slow the game down. Also, now we don't just need things like Arcane Barrier. So I'm hoping we'll see a couple more cards that just prevent any damage down the line. Now, as a Brute player, Mansant showed off a Raceface. Unfortunately, I don't have a visual, but this is a 6 attack, 2 block, costing 2, and a pitch 1. An on hit that causes cards to lose their types. This hurts Prism. Aside from Prism, this will also hurt Era. It may not be super strong right now. And down the line, this card's going to get better. So I'd be picking them up now, or when they're within budget. It's a possible replacement for Command and Conquer. I know that they do separate things, but for budget players, hopefully this is within range. Now lastly, Matt Demarco did a fantastic spoiler with That All You Got. Firstly, he has an amazing edit on his Twitter that's done by the Instant Speed Discord. This is a solid card all around. Brutes want it, Valdo wants it, and even if it's just for sideboard right now, this is perfect against Ninja and early game against Warrior. At worst, it's a 2 pitch and 3 block. But I love that LSS is starting to care about blocking, and we're seeing more designs either giving us a counter or filter or just something for the other side of the game rather than just attacking. Now, I think this will be better off in Blitz decks rather than Classic Constructed, but I've been wrong before. Now, not everything has been spoiled, and perhaps we'll see another hero that isn't tied to the story. Some are hoping for Kano, and I'm hoping for another Ice hero. Now, what are you excited for? And if you're looking to pick up cards, do try to get them at your local game store. We're going to wrap this up with the usual stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. I want to see a conversation started, which would be great. So tell me, even if you don't like anything from the set, what are your hopes for future design? If there is a rumored 4th hero, what are you hoping for? I'll give my full review once we've seen everything. And I also want to discuss the Living Legend stuff at some point too. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.